Hi everybody, I'm here at the campus garden and apiary, and I'm here to introduce you to some beekeeping equipment so you can make the right choices for you. The first and most obvious piece of equipment is something to protect your head, because you don't want any stings around your face. So what I use as an experienced beekeeper might be different from a novice beekeeper. So first off, we have, for the most novice and most afraid of beekeepers, we have the full body suit. And so here is what it looks like here. You have literally a full body suit of canvas, and it has little loops that will hook around your finger, your middle finger, to keep your sleeve down. And then it has a zip-on hood on top of that. And there's different styles of zip-on hoods that you might experience with this. The second most protective would be the half jacket. And so you have, just from the waist up, a protective piece of equipment. And again, the hat is secured onto the jacket like this, and you would zip it around and it would be completely secure. It also has the loop that goes around your hand to hold it in place. There's also just hats. And so if, for example, you're wearing a long sleeve shirt, you could just have a button-down shirt that goes over top of it. Then you could just have a hat on top of your head to protect you. So here, for example, is the one that I use regularly. I'll show you my full outfit in a second. But it's a lot cooler and more comfortable to wear just the hat and then wear a regular long sleeve shirt, in my opinion, so that's why I do that. This one I like because it's got a nice standing up, clear view. It's not going to touch me on the face and press against my face in any way. It's got a nice distance around my head. This is another type of hat that you would actually put onto one of those jackets, and you can see it's pretty tight on the face, and when people wear this, their nose actually touches the screen, which could lead to a sting through the screen. So I don't recommend hats like this. All right, and then there's also these types of hats with separate inner hats and then a veil that fits over top of it. And you can have two different types of inserts for those. There's the plastic hat and then more of a safari hat, kind of a textured canvas hard hat. And inside these, another preference that you might have is for what's going to hold it on your head. This has kind of a plastic strap, and some have more cushion than others. This one also has just a plastic strap that you can tighten to fit around your head. And then the simplest and most compact veils that I've found, that I like for visitors especially because it's easy to store away for our garden shed, is this one. And so basically it's got this flat screen that you look out of in the front here. It's called a hatless veil because it doesn't really have a true hat in it that's got any structure. It just sort of sits on top of your head. And then it can fold up really nicely. So it'd be nice for carrying around maybe in like a bag or something if you were traveling. The next question is, what about your gloves? What kind of things are going to protect your hands from getting stung when you have your hands inside the hive? Now my personal preference is to not have gloves because at this point I don't swell up at all if I get stung. But most people that are new to beekeeping would get stung and they would swell up. So here's some options for you. Here we have the most protective would be like a long glove that goes all the way up to your elbow almost, and they're usually made of goat skin, so they're very soft and flexible. You want it to fit you right so that you can actually manipulate things inside the hive easily. Your hands are obviously really important for working in the hive. Next is another type of goat skin glove, and this one is a very, very soft and very smooth sort of leather. And then down to the less protective varieties of gloves. This has kind of a synthetic fabric on the back, and then it has leather on the front part. And so with these could probably still be penetrated by a sting, and also the bees would get their sting stuck on it. So if they are trying to sting you, it would be really easy for them to sting you on that glove and just die on there, even if they don't sting all the way through. Now these ones, their stings will not stick to the leather. They won't be able to be caught on the leather, so that's protective for them and you. We also have the nitrile gloves here. So nitrile gloves or latex gloves are just, very, very thin material, and they work really well to protect your hands somewhat, but mostly they work well to give you that sort of ability to work easily in the hive. They fit you tightly, and the stings don't always go through it, so it's better than being barehanded, but they can still go through it, I've heard. All right, and then we have these two gloves, which I wouldn't really recommend. They're better than nothing. So this one is just purely fabric. It's got a little bit of plastic beading sort of stuff on there for gripping. But this is just going to attract stings. Not that they're being particularly aggressive to it, but it's very a fabric that's very soft, and their sting would easily come off in there if they were trying to sting you. So I wouldn't recommend that. And this, it's red and black. Red and black are your worst choices for any sort of material that you're wearing around the beehives, because black and red just tend to attract aggression by bees. And also this has that sort of fabric-y material to it, and so it could easily have the stings come off in there as well. And now you might be wondering, Dr. Gamble, what do you actually wear when you beekeep? And because I've been beekeeping for a long time, and also because I started beekeeping when I did not have a lot of money to buy fancy beekeeping equipment, I go on the cheap side and I don't wear extreme protective equipment. So here's what I do wear. So first off, I have that hat that I described before. It's got really good visibility, and it has the drawstrings that go down the front of well, these go down the back and then they wrap around to the front. So I'll show you how that goes on in a second. And then I have just a plain long sleeve shirt that belonged to my husband. And it was, you know, a little bit baggy on me, and that works really well because then I can tuck it in. I also have some long dingy pants that are a little bit baggy that reach all the way down to my shoes. And then, yes, these are just cut off socks that I use to make sure that my sleeve stays closed over top of my hand. And so then I don't actually wear gloves, but this helps me keep bees from crawling up my sleeves. So here I am now wearing my really awesome outfit. And I'm just going to show you real quick how I lace up my beekeeping hat. It's a little bit complicated on some of them, but most of them kind of follow this way, where they come down around the back and then you pull them to the front. And you kind of tie it in the front here. So the protective part of the equipment is that my head is covered. They can't sneak in here. They can't sneak around the back. This is nice and tight. They can't sneak up my sleeves. I got my socks on my hands here, and I can work the hive easily with my hands. I'm also wearing long sleeves, obviously, and long pants. And some people even have like their socks pulled up over their pants, or they put like a rubber band around the base of their pants, and that keeps the bees from sneaking up their pants, which can happen. So there you go. There's a little introduction to beekeeping equipment, so you can make good choices about what you want to get to protect you.